Welcome. I'm Lindsay Bridges from Charlotte Center for Mindfulness, and I'm glad to be practicing with you. I thought I would share a short story that comes from scienceofmind.com, and unfortunately, I couldn't find the author of it, but it seems like a very relevant story to consider right now. What I'm hearing from many, many people, and I'm sure you probably are as well, if not experiencing it, is that things are really hard for a lot of people right now. And a lot of people want the hard to go away and get back to some old kind of normal. Nothing wrong with that wish, but the reality is we are where we are. Times are the way they are right now. And if we spend all of our time trying to get away from this here and now and to that instead, um, then we're missing our life. We're missing what opportunities might be available or open to us in the midst of things as they are hard right now. I love this quote from Philip Moffat. He says, "Our culture's debasement of suffering represents a major loss to you. It denies the validity of many of the major emotional events in your life." I think right now qualifies as a major emotional event for many people in their life. So the story, and like I say, I wish I knew the author of this. This is called Forgiveness, Useful but Unnecessary. Forgiveness may help release us by releasing the burden of feelings accompanying a perception that somebody has done something bad to us. But are our assessments accurate? Here are some examples for you to consider. When I was a child, my father severely beat me. Good or bad? Question mark. This forced me to spend as much time as possible in a nearby wood. While in the woods, I learned how to communicate with deer, foxes, crows, and one red-tailed hawk. Injured animals trusted me, allowed me to tend to their wounds. Many healed, became my friends. Good, bad? Question. I had to quit school at 16 and work in a factory to help support my family. Good or bad? 2 years later, I landed a job working in the same state hospital where my father had now been admitted. He was there for 7 years. Good or bad? My father's illness, my past abuse, my job as an attendant motivated me to go back to school and make a career as a mental health counselor. Good or bad? Many children and adults who had been unable to admit to anyone that they had been abused felt that I would understand and allowed me to help them. Good or bad? Looking back, I wonder whom I should thank and whom I should forgive. What I believe has healed me in my life is not forgiveness, but a change in my perception. We'll look more for where this story comes from, but irregardless, it is pointing to something that people have found for eons, that stuff happens and how we relate to it is what matters the most. We can't change the fact that stuff happens. We wouldn't wish for it on anyone, ourselves, but the reality is it does. So, how do we meet it? Our meditation practice is a profound chance to prepare and practice with meeting the difficult. So many people want their meditation to be all about calm and relaxation and bliss and transcendence. And sometimes those things do happen, and isn't it that wonderful when we can just take a breath and find ourselves relaxing into something? And sometimes those things don't happen. Oftentimes, they don't happen. And our meditation practice might feel messy, might feel full of distractions, irritations, frustrations, old habits that keep taking us away from where we quote unquote want to be. What would it be like to let the practice right here, right now, be just as it is and open to this practice, this moment, just as it is? So, if what you're noticing is that just in taking a breath, this breath right now, something releases, calms, settles, take your time to savor that, to drop into it. If what you're noticing is that you want to bounce off your seat and run away and never try meditation again, or just think, right now, this quote unquote doesn't work for me. What's it like to take a breath with that? Just notice whatever is present in the body associated with the thoughts. Take your time to drop below the story. Change the perspective from one of this is what I want to get rid of to this is what's here. How do I allow myself to meet me just as I am? New kind of willingness and energy for compassion, for curiosity, for investigation, for willingness and wanting to see, to know, to meet, to greet. Some hospitality right now, whatever's here for you. We do this over and over, breath by breath, each moment a new moment, new possibility. And don't use this word mildly, for a sacred meeting with our own self. This breath now. What's present now? Is the habit energy wanting to get away or escape or push something aside? Or is there this opening to meet a lot of grace, your own life experience in this moment? Really good practicing with you, and know that I'm sending you good wishes on the rest of your day. Thank you.